So essentially, I've been too stressed out to film because this is what was going on. So Bubba was on his lead hanging out outside, and he went under the tiny house. It was like way back there, and it seemed like he was stuck.
This all happened right as we were about to leave. The car was packed and already running, and the last thing that we had to do was grab the cats. From what we could see, it looked like he had wedged himself behind 2 4x4 boards, but they only had the slightest gap between them and the ground. And additionally, the little crack at the edge of the house here was the only opening to get under the house, which meant we couldn't reach him and we couldn't pull him out.
We just ate a whole bowl of cherries and watched the Formula One race and Wimbledon.
My fear was that he was really stuck, but I had to keep reminding myself that cats do this, and that if he had found his way in, he likely would be able to find his way out. But that meant that the only thing we could do was to wait. And honestly, Noel and I were not sure if it would just be a few hours or a day or two before he was ready to come out.
Oh my God. Well, now Bubba is out. He just casually...
So casual, like, hey.
Hey guys, nothing's wrong. Walked out. How many hours did we wait? Because it's almost 1 now.
3.
We waited for 3 hours. I'm just glad he's okay. I am so... He's like, what are you talking about? I was really happy under there. Oh, I'm so happy you're okay, though. Bubba.
When stuff like this happens, my mind always wanders and lingers thinking about fate and how little things like this change everything. When my plans get interrupted, I always wonder, is this fate intervening in some way to set me on the right path?
Bye, little blue house. Thank you.
Or I wonder, what will happen now that we're on a completely different timeline in life?
You ready, Lil?
Originally, we were thinking to drive all of the way to our next destination just in one long day, a journey of over 800 kilometers. But it was already 1:30 in the afternoon at this point, so we had accepted that we'd be spending the night somewhere along the way. In my last video, we had decided that we did want to keep living on the road through the summer. And then after that, we decided that the next place we wanted to go would be the Teton Mountains in the northwest of Wyoming. Our driving route took us up through Colorado and then west to Utah, before taking the turn north into Wyoming. There has been something really healing for me about the fact that my life revolves around jumping into the car and having the power to just leave places. And also just deciding where I want to go next, making that decision, and then going there. For a lot of my life, I've really struggled with certain wounds that have kept me from finding the power in my ability to direct my own life, as well as being able to step into the action and discipline needed to take responsibility for directing myself where I feel called.
Had to stop to scoop the litter box.
I think that people see this life and this lifestyle and think that I must feel so free. And I do in a certain way. And also this lifestyle is about constantly confronting the challenges that comes with this kind of freedom. And it's not always easy. My anxiety about this next chapter of our journey started to leave me the moment we started driving, and my eyes gazed out on unfamiliar landscapes. It was a powerful reminder that whenever you're about to do something new, fear will be there to greet you at the threshold. And the best that we can do is to nod to it like an old friend and keep going. While looking at a map of our route north, Noel found an area with a massive lake called the Flaming Gorge that lie at the border between Utah and Wyoming. And it happened to mark the approximate halfway point to the Tetons. So that's where we decided we were going to be spending the night. We arrived to the Flaming Gorge as the last light left the sky, which meant getting set up and making dinner in the dark. Which was fine, except we definitely didn't think about the number of bugs the light might attract.
Oh.
One beautiful lesson of us being delayed the day before was that it gave us time to remember that the whole purpose of living this lifestyle for us is to take the road less traveled, to take our time, to step out of linear timelines, and to let ourselves wander enough for adventure and wonder to find us, to find places like this.
Beautiful here. It's so nice to hear the water. There's so many birds. We saw an osprey this morning, and there's seagulls. When we got here last night, we were kind of wondering, like, oh, maybe we would want to stay here for like a day or two.
But this morning it's pretty clear that as road life goes, it's a moment-to-moment thing, and you just kind of get more and more clarity. You take a step and then you get clear, and then you turn around and then you take another step, and then, you know, I don't know, it's just like a moment-to-moment thing about being really present. But we woke up this morning and just feel like, even though we'd be happy to stay, because like going swimming in the lake and just, it's so beautiful, it is a little bit too hot. It's supposed to get up to the 90s today, and there's not a ton of shade for the cats. And also there's just this feeling of like, let's go find some more amazing magic places. So we're probably gonna just take our time. There's absolutely no rush, and kind of just enjoy this beautiful place this morning, and then pack up and get back on the road. So yeah. Meow. We drove through wide open valleys and canyons and ancient landscapes that date millions of years in the past, that are covered in dinosaur fossils or petroglyphs from the native peoples. Just having that perspective, the world takes on such a different dimension, a bigger dimension, a more magic dimension. We crossed the border into Wyoming with only a few kilometers of leaving the lake, and once again the landscape changed dramatically from anything we had seen. At lunchtime, we pulled off to this random spot along the highway that had a headstone dedicated to the more recent history of this area and land, and it felt both strange and wild and sad to see. We just came into a town in Wyoming that's tagline is all the civilization you need. And it's a population of only 2,000 people. It's hard to conceptualize the vastness of what we now call North America until you're in it. These big open skies and lands hugged by mountains that just go on and on. And while it would be easy to say that these spaces seem wild and free, for most of the drive I found myself sitting with the fact that it didn't feel that way to me. But that's something for another time.
Hey, bunny. How you doing, Bubba? You cozy? Trying to get a shot at the antelope, but every time I see them, I'm like too late because we're driving. I'm on alert. Antelope. Okay, we made it to Jackson, Wyoming. We are in the parking lot of Whole Foods right now. We have to do some food shopping. We've kind of gone back and forth with our plans. When we were doing some research before we arrived here, we were shocked to find out how close Yellowstone National Park is to the Tetons. I had absolutely no idea
Not a clue.
at all.
Nope.
And so we were kind of playing with the idea of maybe going up there and then coming back down here and exploring like in a different order.
I think because that one place is close between the two parks, the closest places to camp are actually up in Montana. So you drive through all of Yellowstone and then go up into Montana.
But we've decided that to be here, and then if we want to go up there, we'll go up there instead of going. Yeah. Anyway, so we have to food shop for a few days, so we're gonna have to pull out the double-decker cat backpack and do some food shopping. But the other thing is that we are in grizzly country, which means that the way that we think about packing and food, how many days we can take out is a little bit different, because we only have one bag that really works. Well, no, I mean,
no, actually, I think we do have both.
2 bear bags.
Possibly.
Can we check that before we go in? Okay, we're gonna clarify whether or not we have 1 or 2 bear bags. It just will affect how much food.
Yeah, I mean, we do have the backpack. We could put a lot of food in the backpack and just hoist that up. The trail backpack.
The trail backpack. Do you have to put, like, if we bought beets?
No, I doubt beets.
Or salad greens?
I think mostly food that is very pungent.
Pungent.
They say even toothpaste and deodorant too, and shampoo and soaps.
I mean, I've been to grizzly country, but I've never like camped or van lifed or
lived.
Well, we've got that work cut out for us. Boop, 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 boop.
Let's do it.
Okay, do we have both?
We do indeed have both.
Yay! Okay, we've got 2 bear bags.
We sort of tried to hurry to get everything because we were very aware that we still needed to drive about 45 minutes further to get to the camping area that was right outside of the Teton National Park. And since all of the campsites are a first come first served basis, we didn't want to have to be looking for a spot too late. As the highway turns north, you enter a vast open valley, and straight ahead, the Tetons starkly cut the land and rise toward the sky, like a sacred and godly realm in front of you. I could feel my whole being react and respond with awe to seeing these mountains for the first time in my life. On this side of the Tetons, the eastern side, there are no foothills leading up to them, only massive towers of rock that jet out of the vast valley to form the sheer faces and sharp peaks of mountain that formed over 9 million years ago. At some point, we turned right off of the highway and turned towards the hills on the opposite side of the valley. Nature spaces and public land in the US have changed a lot since COVID, becoming much more highly visited and trafficked. We went to 3 different dispersed camping areas that each had 20 to 30 plus campsites, and they were all full. This was also a weekday, not even the weekend. The sun was setting by the time we finally found a spot, but as soon as we got out of the car, I got the weirdest gut feeling about the place. It was the last spot in one of these camping areas. Quite remote, and up an incredibly bumpy and rutted out road that would take us an additional 20-ish minutes to get in and out from.
Oh my god. This road is something else.
That's not horrible.
Well, slight shift in plans. That spot didn't feel 100% right, which I'm very conflicted about. But we left and we found some other spots that might be open. We don't really know. It's really, really jam-packed, busy, but gotta go with your gut. I just hope I'm not. So hard to give up a spot once you've found one, you know, especially when you've been looking. I don't really fully know also like what it was about that spot that just like felt off. Well, anyways, we're heading back. We're gonna go see if we can find another spot. Oh, pray. Hi, Lael. Are you having fun?
She's not the biggest fan of bumpy roads.
She's on the fridge.